when you go through there's two types of actors, type A and type B. So type A, they'll go through the works and they're in character all day. And then type B would be the ones who, cuts and rolls, they're in and out. You've worked a lot of TV stuff, and you're doing films too. Which type of an actor would you fall into? Are you A or B?
So I'd go with B. Yeah, I'm somewhat, I just try to be present and as honest as I can be. I wouldn't say method. I'm not in the character 24/7. I think if I did that, I'd lose my mind and could be a crazy lunatic. But I just try and work with the director and have a lot of trust in them. Hopefully, they're a great director, and I'm able to trust them and their direction. And try to just be there and be as present as I can with other actors.
Now, did this role make you go into one or the other more than you would?
I approach this pretty much the same as I always do. I try and get into the physical shape of the character first. That's kind of usually what I do. And for this, I lost a lot of weight. My character's living in depression and hunting for food and trying to stay alive and trying to keep his family alive. So he's not eating a lot, and I wanted to get a good sense of what hunger felt like. So that was probably the biggest thing for me in terms of getting in that character's head.
I'll go next. In the novel, it's told strictly from the point of view of Katniss. So the stuff with Gale mostly comes at the beginning, and then there's really nothing after that. In the movie, obviously, we can look at different viewpoints and what have you. How much more of Gale will we see in the film versus the source material? Yeah, you see a little more. It cuts back to Gale through the film, and you see kind of what he's doing, and you get to see a little bit more of a lot of characters in the film that you don't get to see in the book, because it is all played from Katniss's point of view. Did you use any more inspiration for your character other than the source material, or is there any particular films you've seen or anything you've read that helps you kind of form? I use the books a lot, and it's great to be able to have 3 books where you get to see the whole character's arc. And then I just keep to the script as much as I can. I read all 3 books before we started shooting and before I met with anyone. And then when we were shooting, it was just focusing on the script. I didn't kind of go back to the books too much because it's too confusing. But so you'll be around for the sequel then, right? Yeah, if we shoot the other ones, I'll be around.
What's the best part about being in a production of this size?
It's everything. I mean, as an actor, I'm not looking for. I don't look for whether it's big or small. I'm looking for characters that I relate to in some way, or stories I think are interesting. I try and find directors and writers that are trying to create something new, and I felt like these stories just had such strong characters that people care about. I think with any great story, you need characters that you care about. You're there with them. So.
In what ways do you feel you best relate personally to the character in the film?
Yeah, I feel like Gale is an extremely passionate person, and he doesn't want to side with this evil, and he doesn't want to be a part of these games, and he's trying to find a way to stop it and get away from it. And I think if I were in his position, I'd be doing much the same thing. I completely disagree with what those games are. I'm an ambassador for the Australian Childhood Foundation, which is all about protecting kids that are getting abused and stopping kids from getting abused. So I very much relate to this character.
What have you learned about yourself thus far through this entire journey?
I don't know. I'm on kind of a whirlwind right now, and it's really weird. I haven't ever promoted something quite as big as this before, but I'm very proud of the film. I think it's one of the strongest films I've seen, one of the most powerful films. So I'm very happy to be where I am and very fortunate. So.
How did you prepare for the role? Because it's a pretty physical role, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's not too much action for my character in this book, but just it was stripping down and losing a lot of weight and eating a lot less. I trained for about a month before we started shooting, and just sweating every day and doing as much to to strip down. And then when we started shooting, I stopped training. I wasn't training when we were shooting, but still eating very minimal. You know, obviously when you're on set, you need to be eating a little more because you need energy to work and stay alive. But yeah, I did lose quite a bit of weight.
Did any of the cast like have any kind of bonding exercises before the filming to kind of create like a group?
I didn't get to shoot with most of the other actors. Most of my stuff's with Jennifer in this one, so she's great. I got along with her from the very first read. She's a very easy person to get along with and very easy person to work with. You know, I think I expected her to be, you know, pretty straight-edged and you know, serious, but she's a great actress, but completely unpredictable at all times, and you never really know what she's talking about or what she's going to say. And you know, she's very fun to work with, but also, you know, very professional and, you know, extremely talented actress.
With your brother's success in Thor and you in The Last Song and now in Hunger Games, what's it like living in a family, you know, full of talented actors?
Yeah, I mean, my brothers are 6.5 and 8 years older than me, and I've, you know, as the youngest brother, I've always looked up to them, and they've always been my biggest role models in the world and my best friends. And I think I honestly think I probably would have done whatever they were doing. I think I always wanted to do what they were doing, and if they became builders, I think I probably would be building right now and not here.
What was the best day on set?
Best day? No, the whole thing was pretty great. You know, I was really excited to work with Gary Ross. I've been a big fan of him since Pleasantville, and you know, just to work with a director that's been doing it so long and see that they're still so passionate and so happy to turn up to work every day was really cool.
Do you have a favorite memory or anything funny happened on set, like some story?
Me and Josh went to Kentucky for a weekend. He's from Kentucky, and I don't know if you've heard, but we got White Castle, and we played basketball after eating a number of burgers from White Castle, and we threw up together.
Nice.
That was a bonding experience.
I bet. Did you read the books before you read the script?
I did, yeah. I read all 3 books before I met with anyone on the film. You know, I wanted to get a sense of what it was and where it was going, and yeah, ended up really loving the books. And as an actor, I'm always looking for things that are different. So I really thought that this hadn't really been done before in this way. So, nice. And I mean, you read these books and you read it like a film. Everything I could visualize being on screen. Yeah.
How do you feel about being a part of the next kind of big series? Well, what could be a series of films based on a kind of young adult novel?
Yeah.
It seems like it's kind of a trend right now.
Yeah, I think the difference between this and a lot of these franchises that have been before this is, I think this stretches to a much wider audience. I think adults relate to this story and you know, are interested in it and care about these characters. So I think it has a much broader audience. But it's very exciting. I feel really, really happy and really fortunate to be part of something so special like this and have so many great actors in it, and you know, such an amazing director. It's, you know, as an actor, I feel very, very fortunate.
Have you signed up for the next other films? Have they talked about?
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of waiting to see what happens with this one, and if it does as well as what everyone thinks it's going to, then we'll shoot the other ones. Yeah.
When would those start shooting?
The second one, if it all goes well, we'll probably shoot it towards the end of this year. Yeah.
And where'd you shoot it?
Shot it in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my part was, and then I think they went to Charlotte for parts of it.
You hear a lot of times people are disappointed because they feel like the script of a movie doesn't stay true to the book.
Sure.
Do you feel like the script stayed pretty true to the books?
I think so, yeah. I loved the first book, and I was, you know, very nervous that it wasn't going to live up to the book and wasn't going to be as great as the book, and it is. It's one of the most powerful films I've seen, and I was extremely nervous watching it the first time, but now having watched it, I feel a lot more comfortable talking about it, and you know, feel very proud of it.
Does it feel any different to kind of step into a world that has already been created since you had the books versus other projects?
Yeah, it is a little different. I mean, I think the question was always there that, you know, do I want to be part of something so massive, and because there's so much expectation that you don't want it to fail, you know. I think there was a little more pressure because of that, but when I'm on set, it's kind of the same thing as any other film that I've worked on. I'm there with the director and the actors and trying to make it as good as we can.
Go ahead, Sam.
You pitch the Hunger Games to someone, say, who might have never read the books and have heard about the film. And I hate the word pitch, because that's what, you know, you pitch the idea to someone. But so, like, kind of pitch that to me, as if I have no idea.
It's based in a post-apocalyptic world, and you have this capital city that is very corrupt and very powerful and forcing people to do horrific things and watch horrific things. Everyone in the capital city has all the technology and all the power, and the people that live there are living very misguided lives. Basically been brainwashed almost, and don't really have a sense of what real life is. And you have these 12 districts that surround the capital city that are living in depression and trying to survive every day. And you know, and they're being forced to put their children into these games. And so they randomly select 2 children from each district, and they go into these Hunger Games, which is a televised reality TV show that is entertainment to only the people in the capital. You know, for these other districts, it's their children going into these games, and they're watching them die. So it's it's a tribute to survival and freedom, and you have this young, courageous girl who's providing hope and courage for so many different people, and allows everyone else to see that if they come together, that they can stand up to this and make a difference. And
scary future.
Yeah, it is. It's a very, very extreme idea of a world that's gone wrong in many ways, and an extreme idea of reality TV gone very wrong. And, hopefully, we're nowhere near that world.
Good point.
Having read the books before getting involved, you said you read the whole entire trilogy before taking meetings. But once you came on board and started shooting, do you find that the production design was the same idea that you had in your head of this world? Or was
it really was. I think Gary Ross and everyone else that worked on it really did capture, I think, what audiences were thinking in their minds. At least what I pictured in my mind. The reaping scene that we shot was. We shot it for about 4 days. It was over 100 degrees all week, and we had 300 or 400 extras on set. And I remember the first day turning up, and just looking at all these kids and these young people, and I think everyone could definitely feel if the reality of if we really were all standing there waiting for someone's name to be called, and how horrific it would be, and how horrible. And I think that I didn't get to see the Capitol in person. I wasn't in. My character's not in the Capitol, but District 12 looked exactly how I imagined it.
Guys, we have room for about some more questions.
Did you have a favorite scene to film?
Everything was pretty great. We got to shoot. Me and Jennifer got to shoot out in the woods in Asheville, up in the mountains, and it was in summertime. And, there wasn't too much to complain about. It was a pretty fun place to shoot.
The movies are pretty gory. How do you think all the books are? How do you think the movie lives up to that, since it's there's violence in the movie, and the thing about it is that in the books and the movie, it's not glorified in any way. It's you don't look at it and go, yeah, that was awesome. It's kids, and you feel for these kids, and you feel for their families, and it's done the right way, that it's not glorified.
How are you preparing for all of the attention for this movie?
Where am I right now? I don't know. I don't know. I'm really on a whirlwind right now, and it's exciting and pretty nerve-wracking at the same time to be out there doing all this, but it's great. I feel very fortunate to be a part of something so special. The movie, I really, really am behind the movie, and I think it is something special. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Good. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Very much.